What I want to talk about really quickly is, and I wrote this in the email I sent out, is that we live in perilous times, and everybody knows it at this point. It is what you're thinking and what you're doing inside of yourself that is either going to create a better outcome or create whatever outcome you end up in. Knowing, right, if I'm creating my outcome around me, the world is still going to do its thing. Your input into this, right, if we're in huge, large groups of people meditating, we can actually change the outcome of what people outlying are doing. I had this direct experience the other day in a group. It was a huge group of people all meditating on the same thing. And we watched as something that we were holding in the back of our mind change as it was playing out. And there was more than one group meditating on this thing. It was groups all over the world meditating for the same purpose. But you could sit there and just watch as the thing was just calming down. And somebody threw in, well, would that have happened naturally anyway? I don't know. Or would have it exploded into an even bigger mess than it already was? Like, you don't know. Don't second guess that stuff. Own it, right? Own what work you put into it and stand in your own spirit, your own power. As you're doing this kind of work, I think that's super important. It's another thing we weren't taught to do, to believe that we had the power to change, right, things around us through your own vibrational skill set. So know that in these perilous times, you have the power to do that. You have the power to keep your area in a higher vibration, and that will change things around you. And so the question always comes up, what are you practicing? What are you practicing internally? What are you saying to yourself? What are the fights that go on in your head, right? And we talk about things like anxiety and depression, and even the fights in your head, because that's what leads you to anxiety and depression. Those high-level states of low emotion, high-level, really active states of low emotion, will drive you into, and especially in a period of time like this, will drive you into even lower states, which is why you have to become so aware of them when you're doing it, whatever you're saying to yourself, and you have to raise yourself up to a higher level, right? And literally, like, we're getting into a place in time where I've heard people saying, at some point the internet's going to go away, everything's going to shut down because of just how things are going to start to play out. What do you do inside yourself? Do you know how to get into the core of your own being and be in your spirit and know that whatever you do, right, you have the outcome, you have the power and the potential ability to create your own system however you want to create your system? I asked the question, do you know what you're choosing? Most of us don't. I'll raise my hand. Nose goes. Did not know what I was choosing when I agreed to take my father to Denver this last time. Did not know what I was choosing. I didn't sit down and ask questions of my spirit first, and I say this, but then sometimes I forget to do it. Do your energy work first. Ask the question, should I be driving there? And actually, I think I did ask probably, we were already on the road, so there was already no turning around. I was asking, is this a good idea? And I literally heard my spirit go, nope. I was like, should have asked first. Like, I literally heard my spirit go, you should have asked first. And I was like, oh, nuts. And it turned out all right because I kept doing things like the Lord's Prayer, and I kept Psalms 91 or Psalms 91 in the back of my head, and I had all this other talking to my angels like continuously. So it turned out all right. But I could have saved myself a lot of angst if I would have just said no, like, not this weekend, I'm not doing it, right? So it comes down to, do you know what you're choosing? Do your energy work first. Ask your spiritual guides. Ask inside your heart space. Ask your own spirit, right? Get heart coherent and sit there and take the time to ask, is this a good idea? If you're having trouble getting into your heart space, you have to practice, right, the 3 breaths in and out. You're back to the every hour, 3-minute routine. If you're having trouble doing it, and I can't say this enough, do the work it takes to get you there. Do the work it takes to get you there, because if you're not, you won't be there. If you find yourself, and people will say, well, I slid backwards, then slide forwards again. You get a choice. You can do either one, right? If you slid backwards and you're like, oh, I'm back into doing this thing again, come back into the thing that got you where you are to start with, right where you were to start with. So if you were in this like really good state of being and it was the 3-minute drill that got you there, go back to the 3-minute drill. I don't know why we fight that kind of stuff so much, but we fight it.